Welcome back, everybody. So today I want to install the Western Digital Black SN850 NVMe SSD game drive with heatsink into my PlayStation 5. I do need that additional storage as my main, built-in storage has been kind of a nightmare. Been having to delete stuff, rearrange things, and kind of tired of it. So I've been waiting for this to become accessible, and currently it is in beta stage where you have to have the beta firmware in order to use an additional, hard drive. So that's what we're going to be doing today, installing this, quickly testing it out. I did get to be a part of the beta program. I'll put links down below if you want to apply to join that, and all the information as far as what kind of drives to use. This was the one that Mark Cerny, the lead architect of the PlayStation 5, said he was going to use, so I'm pretty sure it's a safe bet. Western Digital said it was going to work as well. There's a lot of them out there that will work. I bought this one in particular because it had a heatsink built into it, and that's one of the requirements. You don't really want to risk it putting a drive into your system without a heatsink, just in case. Better safe than sorry, but this was pretty pricey, $250 for 1 terabyte. Has to be a Gen 4 drive. Like I said, take a look at that link down below. But let's go ahead and get this thing installed, quickly test it out. But before we begin, a real quick minute review for a PlayStation 5 accessory. This is the Pucal PS5 carrying bag case. Can carry it multiple ways. Turn it to a backpack, hold it by the hand, or even use the shoulder strap. These guys hit me up a while ago about doing a review video on this. It's just a bag. Didn't really think a whole video would work out well, just like my last one didn't do too well as far as a bag video goes. But it is a cool product. It's a lot better than the previous one I took a look at. There's a lot of storage space here, very customizable. A lot of room in here. I even have my PS5 in here with the stand installed. Very minor in the way of protection, but if you need to move this thing around, it works. I mean, I go up and down stairs all day, every day, moving around my systems, and on occasion I bang stuff around, so this does help me keep my PS5 safe. You have all this room here. I don't know how that game got in there, but you got storage space for games, cables, headsets, whatever else you want to put in there. Your mom's Vibe, it doesn't matter. Controllers. Decent quality product if it's something you need. So let's get back to the video. So in order to get this installed, pretty simple process. Yeah, it's a little more involved than other systems out there, but still not too much of a big deal in my opinion. So I do have the bottom stand on my system right now. I have to get that removed because we do have to remove one of the side plates. The one where the disk drive is on the system that has a disk drive. If it's the system that doesn't have a disk drive, then if you're facing it head on, it would be the right side. So just remove that plate, fairly simple. And then once you have that removed, you have access to where you can put in your NVMe SSD drive. So all you really need is a screwdriver. That is it. So we're gonna go ahead and open up the hatch there, unscrew that screw. I like how the screws have the PlayStation button logos on them. Pretty cool stuff, so get that removed. And then on the inside, depending upon the length of your drive, you will have to possibly move that little peg around. There is a provided screw in the PlayStation 5 and the little spacer, I guess you would call it. So I moved that to the 80 spot because this is, it is a 2280 SSD drive. So slide it right on in there. Go ahead and make sure it's sitting right on top of that spacer just fine. And then screw it down so it doesn't move around. Put the little hatch back on top, screw that in, put your plate back on, and that's pretty much it. Really, this process takes no more than a minute to do. It's not that huge a deal. I mean, we're not really tearing down the system or anything, but now that that's done, let's go ahead and boot up the PS5 and see what happens. Okay, so upon first boot up with this M2 SSD drive installed, it did immediately prompt me to format the drive. That was the first thing I saw. I went ahead, formatted it. It only took a few moments, wasn't too big of a deal there. To be expected, in order to actually use the drive, it needs to be formatted to be used on the PS5, so that was fine. Once that was done, it did show me what it registered my read speeds as, and with this drive, it was somewhere around 6,500 Mbps, something like that. So not a big deal, not the high end of what the drive was capable of, but I think I'm fine with that for now. In this, beta firmware seemed to be pretty good. I do want to test that out see how long it takes to move a game from the internal storage to this M2 drive, and then also loading a game from it to see if I run into any issues. So the first thing we had to do, because just because we have this formatted and installed doesn't mean it's automatically going to use it, I did have to go to the settings screen and go to the storage options from there. I did select the M2 drive to be where I want all my games to be installed to, so you can, change a few options there, what you want installed where, that kind of thing. And then I did go ahead and access everything that I had installed on this system. Getting pretty slim, man. I've already had to delete a bunch of stuff recently just to get, I think Final Fantasy VII Remake on here. So I did have to recently delete things. So I'm very happy that I actually have this additional storage right now. I'm not happy with the price, though. But, that's neither here nor there, as the ladies like to say. So I did want to go ahead and, after I'd selected all that I want to use the storage, I did want to move a couple games over and then see how long it took to move them. So let's take a look at that. So there we go. Just kind of fast forwarded a bit on the moving games around type of thing. So the speed wasn't too bad. 90 gigabytes or so took about a minute. 33 gigabytes took about a half a minute, somewhere around there. Wasn't too bad to move things around, but I don't really see myself having to move games around between the drives too often, but it was just something I wanted to take a look at. Now, what I did want to make sure was that playing a game off of the drive was going to be just fine. So I wound up playing Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart for quite a while, played the challenge mode, went through a few areas, and I did leave this running for a while. I didn't have any issues come up. I didn't see any errors or anything like that, any kind of heat issues. Everything was running just fine. If there's any major differences, it wasn't noticeable to me. Maybe minor differences that just really weren't noticeable to me. But everything seemed fairly seamless like it normally was, running Ratchet & Clank off of the internal storage. So really not a big deal to me. I mean, the main thing here is that currently storage prices for this generation of SSD that you need to use for the PS5 is a bit pricey. Hopefully over time prices do go down. But I think, installing this in the PS5 is not an extremely daunting task like some people have made it seem to be. It was actually very simple, very easy. Yes, a couple more steps involved than the, Xbox Series X or Series S. I get it, there's always those people out there with that console war mentality thing. I have both systems. I love both of them. I play both of them quite often. And I can appreciate the simplicity of the Xbox approach, but then also at the same time, the PlayStation 5 approach for me personally wasn't that big of a deal. And having more competition as far as different drives that we could buy, it's definitely going to become more competitive with pricing over time. So that is definitely a pro in my opinion. Either way you look at it, I mean, no big deal. I don't really care. It works for me. I'm not complaining other than the price. Either way you look at it, for both systems, freaking expensive for just a terabyte. And if you start moving on even higher than that for the PS5, holy crap, 2 terabytes, like $500 type of thing, 4 terabytes, like $1,000. Get out of here with those numbers. It's ridiculous. But for now, I'm happy with, an additional having 1 terabyte in my system. That should ease some of my concern and pains that I've had with having to constantly delete things when I get a new game. It is what it is. Let me know what you guys think down below. Really do appreciate every single one of y'all. And with that said, I will catch you next time. Peace out, bye-bye, and boom. Bye.